Stoicism. You know it, I know it, whether it's through Ryan Holiday's recent books or through Marcus Aurelius's meditations, you probably have a general gist of what the Stoic philosophy is, or rather, the modern version of it. I recently read a really good Substack essay about why I am not a modern Stoic by Jared Henderson. He makes incredible YouTube videos as well. He's very well informed. He's an actual educator, and he is someone within the professional philosophy field. So I really recommend reading his essay, but I want to kind of just give a quick rundown of it and then also inject some of my own thoughts into it because I think this is an interesting discussion. Now, when most people think of Stoicism, they think of just the practical application of the teaching, which is pretty much just focus on what you can control. Things outside of your voluntary control, you should not worry over, and unless you can make an impact on those things, then simply relinquish that control and pay no heed to it. And as a byproduct, you will have more control over your emotions and you will be more intentional with your life. And the reason I think this sticks so strongly to the modern world is that, firstly, we are way more cognizant of what's going on in the world and everything we don't have control over that seems like it's constantly in flux and constantly getting worse. You know, the news tends to highlight the worst things that are going on in the world because it produces the most engagement. Social media does a similar sort of thing. And when you're constantly bombarded by all of these negative pieces of information, it can absolutely emotionally dysregulate you. It's something I've talked about in a lot of my main channel YouTube videos. Even here, when you're dysregulated, your nervous system goes into fight or flight, and you basically have no control over yourself, and you make irrational decisions. And that leads to unwanted situations and settings later on in your life, the more that you live in that state. So Stoicism kind of offers a practical way out. When you read something like Marcus Aurelius's Meditations or Ryan Holiday's books, which one of them I read was The Daily Stoic, or actually listened to the audiobook, and what he does is he takes quotes from different Stoic philosophers, and he gives his own account of them and his own insight, and he explains them in a modern way, basically. And that really did have a profound impact on me during that period of time in my life when I was trying to figure out my purpose in this life and how to not be as emotional and how to remain in control of the things I can control. And as a young guy, you definitely want to feel like you're in control of your emotions. It's what people tell you to do, but you don't necessarily know how. You don't know the mindset with which to apply so that you can remain in control, because a lot of life is mental, and with the right framework inside your mind, the right thoughts and ideas, then you can fully control yourself. Well, not fully. I don't think you can ever fully control yourself, but to a greater extent. And that's why I think these are so popular now, along with everything else that's going on in the world. You know, young men looking for that philosophy that just makes sense, that's easy to understand, and that's why they gravitate towards something like Meditations or Ryan Holiday's books. But what his books often leave out, and also what people just tend to gloss over when they read these works, including Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, is the providential part of these philosophies. And by that, I mean the divine aspect of Stoicism. Now, if you read Jared Henderson's piece, he goes over the origins of Stoicism, which started with a guy named Zeno, I believe his name was. And he met with a group of people under a roof called a stoa, and hence that's where the name Stoicism came from. This is where the philosophy originated. And if you place yourself in the time of ancient Greece, then you will understand why the divine aspect and the idea of God was so important to Stoicism. The Greeks believed in a God. They believed in a God that had some sort of order over the universe. And the foundation of Stoicism was built upon that, built upon the idea that everything in the universe was orderly and rational, and happened for the greater good. It happened for the whole. So anything that happened within a part of the universe was for the whole, and it benefited the whole. So this is where you can see how stoicism and the idea of remaining calm under pressure could even sprout, because if you believe that, if that's your initial belief that this God that is ordering the universe in the way it is knows what it's doing, and it is doing it all for the greater good, even the things that we perceive as negative and awful and all these atrocities, then those atrocities, the negative things that happen, aren't going to have so much of a hold on you, so much of an effect to the point where you're losing your mind over how could all this happen. Because deep down, the early Stoics believed that God was rationally ordering the universe to unfold in this way to benefit the universe as a whole. And even if we can't see that as humans, it's the reason why death occurs. It's the reason why sickness and illness occurs, is for some reason that is happening for some reason to benefit the whole, the divine, everything that goes on in our universe. And it is helping to progress the universe as a whole. So, like I said, you can see how if that is your starting belief, it makes so much more sense that you would be able to control your emotions, because ultimately you see everything that happens, whether good or bad, as necessary for the whole. And if you truly believe that, which was easier, I would say, when God was so prevalent in most of our cultures, then it's no wonder that Stoicism, it made sense and people could adopt it back then, even when it seemed like it was kind of rational when we take out the God part. Even Marcus Aurelius wrote about this, but like I said, I feel like people tend to gloss over that part. I remember reading Meditations and his writings specifically about how the universe unfolds and how everything is working in conjunction with one another, and all of these little parts are necessary for the benefit of the whole. He talked about it, but I guess people don't really pay attention to that part because either they don't believe in the idea of a God, or it just wasn't practical enough for it to stick in their mind, and they think like, okay, how can I apply this to my life like right now? But I think it's very important that we address the fact that Stoicism started on the basis of believing in a God which controls the universe and is making everything happen for the greater good. Now, my own thoughts on this, as someone who probably is closest to identifying as agnostic, I can, there are so many horrible atrocities that happen in the world, and it's like, how could you possibly derive, oh, this is for the greater good, from a baby dying of leukemia? Like, how do you possibly think, okay, now there's a God behind this and it's happening for some greater purpose? Yeah, those specific examples make it a little hard to believe in God. And then on top of that, I think a lot of people have veered away from religion, not only due to more the mysticism and the inability to prove with reasoning and materialism, but also because religion often has like a cult-like feel to it. But it is hard for me to think that there isn't some sort of order to the chaos that is going on at this very moment. The only reason I feel like we can understand the world and comprehend it is because there is order to it, because there is order to this madness, because we can actually measure it. So that's the only reason the scientific method exists. If everything was just random and happened randomly, and there were no patterns with which for us to observe, then the scientific method couldn't exist, because it relies on us being able to repeatedly test the same things over and over and see if they produce the same outcome. And things like mathematics, they come out of the structure of the universe. They come out of this order. So it feels to me, at least deep down, that there's some sort of creator behind the divine order of the universe. And therefore, I would have to think, what is the reason that this creator would impose, whether it was intentional or not. Maybe they kind of just started it off and let the world fucking develop on its own. They didn't realize it would get to this point. I would have to think there's a reason for evil to exist. And what that reason is, I really don't know. But that's just my like overall thoughts on the idea of God and why I think Stoicism in its classical sense is a little easier for me to digest than the modern sense, because if there's no basis for accepting things you can't control and believing all this is happening for a certain reason, if there's no providential reason behind that, then what is Stoicism exactly? Well, Jared Henderson in his essay drew parallels of modern Stoicism to Nietzschean philosophy. Nietzsche basically accepted the idea that God is dead and that morality will crumble if the idea of God no longer exists, and we just need to accept our fate, accept the fact that the universe is cold, it holds no emotions, it has no feelings, everything's happening just because it's absurd, kind of like absurdism, and you just must accept your fate and be okay with that and function and do the things you can with your life that make it enjoyable and just endure this struggle, which life is full of. That's what I feel like modern Stoicism is, because it doesn't really have an idea of God attached to it. So depending on your current beliefs right now, you might find more use and Stoicism might click for you more if you venture back to classical Stoicism. If you are agnostic like me, or you at least consider the idea of some sort of divine entity that exists or some sort of creator, then maybe Stoicism will click for you if you study classical Stoicism. But maybe if you just can't believe in the idea of God and you've never felt these kind of intuitive feelings of there being some order to all of this, and you know what, you just feel like nihilistic, then Stoicism might help you, and Nietzschean philosophy might help you, and Albert Camus' philosophy, absurdism, might help you as well. I recommend reading his book, The Myth of Sisyphus. All of this is basically to say modern Stoicism, or attaching Stoicism to the idea of a guy with no emotion, no care for anything, just goes about the day monotonously and is almost like nihilistic, but he's also grinding. I'm a stoic alpha male. Like, it's just so detached from the original idea of Stoicism. And I think more people need to understand that there is a very big providential aspect of Stoicism. It's really cool to talk about philosophy, different perspectives on why things exist, how they exist, how do you fit into this universe, and what's the best way to evoke the most positive endurance and struggle out of it. Like, I just love talks like that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on all these concepts in the comments below. Let me know. And I am writing a novel right now, which incorporates quite a bit of philosophy. It's called Fractured Worlds, and it features a 21-year-old living in a post-pandemic world, that's our current world, who develops the ability to see into a parallel reality. So there's a bit of philosophy in there, sci-fi, fantasy, even self-improvement, just a lot of stuff that I've learned over the years injected in a fictional format, which I've always wanted to do. If you're interested in getting updates for that, I just finished the first draft. It'll be out in a few months, and you can subscribe to my Substack to make sure you don't miss the launch. That's linked in the description, and I'm heading out. Goodbye.